Chasing Mr. Big. Chapter 1. The Dreamer. She was born with a hunger that words couldn't name. Not for riches or fame, not for fortune or claim. Her heart was a lantern, its fire unconfined, searching the world for a love of her mind. She whispered at night, to the stars, to the skies, "Send me the one who will see through disguise. Not just a lover who kisses and goes, but one who will cherish the depths no one knows." She dreamed of true passion, not shallow, not fast, but a bond built for always, for future, to last, where bodies and spirits entwined as they grew, where every desire was mutual, true. Sex matters, she told them, when friends would tease. It's the language of love, the soul set at ease. It's not just the body, it's trust. It's the art. It's the mirror of love. It's the key to the heart. They laughed at her hope, they called her naive. But she never surrendered the dream she believed. For deep in her chest, like a bird in its wing, she held fast her vision of her Mr. Big. Chapter 2. The Dates. She dressed for the evenings with hope in her eyes. Her lipstick a promise, her heels a disguise. The city kept whispering, tonight could be fate. So she opened her heart for another first date. The banker arrived with a suit sharply pressed. He spoke of his numbers, his power, success. But his gaze never softened. His laughter was thin. She knew in an instant he wasn't her kin. Next came the actor, dramatic and bold. He showered her table with gestures of gold. But when she was speaking, he barely would hear. Too lost in his mirror, his vanity clear. A lawyer, persuasive with charm on his tongue, promised the world as their dinner begun. But when she declined just a kiss at the door, his smile disappeared, he wanted no more. There was the poet, who spoke of the moon, of starlight and flowers, of roses in June. But passion, she found, was not in his kiss. His words were abundant, his touch was amiss. Some dates were amusing, some dates were a bore. Some ended with silence, some never called more. And each time she left with her chin lifted high, though part of her wondered, was love just a lie? She filtered and sifted through dinners and walks, through promises empty, through meaningless talks. Yet still she believed, though the search made her ache, that love worth the waiting was real, not a fake. Her pillow grew damp with the tears she had shed, but hope lit a lantern each night by her bed. For deep in her soul, she was certain she'd see a man who was worthy of love's mystery. And so she continued with courage unbent, each date just a stepping stone fate must have sent. For somewhere out there, in the crowd and the din, waited the man who would match her within. Chapter 3. The Almosts. There were men who came close, who brushed at her flame, who lingered a while, who whispered her name. She thought for a moment, perhaps this is he, the one who will love and make whole what is me. There was the traveller, with maps in his eyes, who spoke of horizons and faraway skies. He kissed her with fire, he held her with need. Yet freedom, not union, was his truest creed. There was the teacher, so gentle, so kind, a thoughtful companion, a soul intertwined. He listened, he cared, he touched without rush, but the spark never burned, no heat in the hush. The dreamer, the artist, with hands stained in paint. His passion was real, but his patience was faint. He wanted her body, he wanted her skin, but not the long road where real love begins. She gave of herself, she opened her chest, hoping that one would stand out from the rest. Some nights left her trembling, her breath out of tune. Her pleasure was fleeting, it vanished too soon. For what she was seeking was not just release, but the bond where desire is woven with peace, where sex is not taken, but tenderly shared, where each whispered moan is a sign that he cared. Almost, she murmured, with tears in her voice. They're close, But not quite, they are not my choice. I want the one who will match me in flame, who worships my body and honors my name. Her heart was still steady, though tested and tried. Her dream, like a compass, it never had died. She knew through the false ones, the near misses too, that finding the true one was rarer than few. And so she pressed onward, though weary her feet, through endless encounters, through strangers to meet. Each almost a lesson, each near love a sign. That patience would lead her to love's grand design. Chapter 4. Secret Desire. Behind every smile, behind every hello, there lived a soft secret she rarely let show. A longing so tender, so raw, so profound, for a love where her body felt safe, truly found. For she knew in her marrow, in every deep place, that sex wasn't skin, it was soul, it was grace. It wasn't just passion, or lust's fleeting thrill, but the art of two spirits aligned in their will. And she knew her own body, the truth of her flame, the path to her pleasure, the core of her name. It wasn't the quickness, the careless or rough, but patience, devotion, affection enough. The thought of his mouth, his reverent kiss, tracing her skin into tremors of bliss. The art of his tongue, the worshipful pace, bringing her softly to love's holy space. For her, this was more than an act in the dark. It was trust. It was union, the soul's glowing spark. A man who knelt gladly, who gave without greed, was the man she believed she was destined to need. In her private reflections she whispered the plea, let him adore every inch that is me. Let him listen to sighs. Let him savor each sound. Let him treasure the moments where love can be found. For she dreamed not of power, not of being possessed, but of being uplifted, adored, and caressed, where pleasure was mutual, where both hearts could say, we've found in each other the most perfect way. And so, though she dated, though many men came, she waited for him, the one worthy of flame, the one who would honor desire and delight, and give her the dream she had craved every night. Chapter 5. Meeting him. It was nothing dramatic, no lightning, no storm, no Hollywood trumpet, no fate-taking form. Just a night like the others, a dinner, a chance, and yet something stirred in the glance of a glance. He entered the room with a confident ease, not boastful, not haughty, just calm, if you please. His laughter was low, like a song on the air, his presence commanding, yet tender with care. His eyes, when they found her, did not dart away. They lingered, they softened, they asked her to stay. Not a gaze that consumed, not a gaze that devoured, but one that respected, that patiently flowered. They talked, and the hours dissolved into none. Her guard slowly lifted, her battles undone. For he listened as if she were rare, as if every word was a jewel beyond compare. He didn't just flatter, he didn't just tease. He asked of her dreams, her failures, her needs. And when she grew quiet, uncertain, unsure, he smiled and assured her. His calm was a cure. No arrogance lingered, no ego to prove. No rush in his gestures, each movement was smooth. And she felt for the first time her spirit unbound, as though in his presence her home had been found. When the night had ended, he offered his hand. Not pushing, not pressing, not making demand. Just a warmth in his palm, a question so true. Would you like to meet again? I'd love more of you. Her heart, once so cautious, now beat in her chest, with a rhythm that whispered, perhaps this is best. Perhaps all the waiting, the ache, and the strife had led to this moment, this man, this new life. She walked home that night with a glow in her veins, a giddiness dancing, erasing old pains, and whispered a prayer as she drifted to sleep. Could this be the one I was destined to keep? Chapter 6. The first kiss. The second time came like a soft, secret song, A walk in the city where nights stretched so long. Lights shimmered above them. The streets held a hush. And time seemed to slow in a magical brush. They talked as they wandered, as laughter took flight. Every moment with him felt unexpectedly right. Her doubts melted gently, her guard slipped away. As if fate had whispered, "It's safe here to stay." He never once hurried. He never once pressed. His patience itself left her spirit impressed. He asked with his silence. He asked with his eyes. Each pause a soft promise, each glance a surprise. At last, on the corner where lamplight fell gold, he leaned just a little, not daring, but bold, and quietly asked, in a voice low and true, "May I kiss you? Or would that be too soon?" Her heart tumbled wildly. Her lips shaped a smile. A nod gave permission. Her pulse raced a mile. And then it had happened, his mouth met with hers. Like the meeting of rivers, like song without words. It wasn't a rush, not a hunger, not fire, but a patient beginning of deeper desire. His lips tasted tender, like secrets unspoken, like vows made in silence, like promises woven. She sighed in the moment, her breath interlaced. Her hands found his shoulders. Her soul felt embraced. The kiss was not conquest, not hurried, not planned, but the first of 1,000, the touch of his hand. When they parted, her cheeks held a luminous glow, her voice soft with wonder, too quiet to show. But inside her spirit, the truth she confessed, "This man is not like all the rest." And as he walked her home, slow, step by step, she carried a certainty she'd never kept. The kiss had confirmed what her dreams had long spun. Her search was now ending. Her Mr. Big had begun. Chapter 7. The first night. The evening began in the simplest of ways. Dinner and laughter. A lingering gaze. The city was glowing, but brighter still shone the warmth in her chest when she wasn't alone. He walked her back slowly, no rush in his stride, as if every second was his to abide. At her doorway he lingered, uncertain yet near, his voice gentle, asking, not pushing with fear, "May I come in? Only if you feel right." Her lips curved a smile. Just for a night. Not spoken as promise, not spoken in haste, but an opening shared, a moment embraced. Inside, the air shifted, turned tender, turned still, the hush of two hearts leaning into one will. He touched not her body, but first held her face, as if it were fragile, a glass he must grace. Their kisses grew deeper, the silence grew sweet, their breathing in rhythm, their pulses in beat. He paused for a moment, his forehead to hers. "Tell me what you love, and I'll listen to words." And she, without trembling, without any guise, looked straight into him with truth in her eyes. "I dream of a lover who worships, who knows that pleasure is deeper when tenderness grows. A man who is patient, who gives without greed, who listens to whispers, who honors my need. For me, it's not power, it's not being fast. It's in gentle devotion that passion will last." He kissed her again, soft, reverent, slow, then whispered, "I hear you. I want you to know. With you, every moment, each sigh, every sound, I'll cherish completely. You're safe, you're found." And when at last his lips traveled down, she felt every dream she had long written down. The care, the attention, the worshipful art. It wasn't her body, he touched her whole heart. Her sighs filled the room like a prayer set to song, the rhythm between them both tender and strong. And when waves of release left her trembling, free, she wept not from lust, but from deep ecstasy. For this was not merely a lover's delight. It was soul meeting soul in the depth of the night. Her body had spoken. Her spirit had too. "This man is the one who can carry me through." And afterward, tangled, her head on his chest, she felt what she'd longed for, a haven, a rest. He brushed back her hair with a whisper so small. You don't have to search anymore. You've found it all. Chapter 8. The Deepening. Morning arrived like a blessing unspoken. Sunlight through curtains, the silence unbroken. She stirred in his arms, still wrapped in his hold, and felt something steady, something solid yet bold. No hurried retreat, no awkward disguise, just warmth in his smile, truth clear in his eyes. He kissed her forehead, no need for pretense, as if what they shared was the purest of sense. From that night the days slowly wove into more. Little rituals formed, unseen at the core. Coffee together before work began. Her laughter at jokes only he'd understand. Long evening walks where their hands intertwined. Conversations that spilled from their hearts and their minds. They spoke of ambitions, of failures, of scars, of families, of childhoods, of futures, of stars. She watched how he listened, how carefully too, how he never dismissed what was fragile yet true. His respect was a constant, his patience a thread, that stitched all her doubts into comfort instead. And in the bedroom, the passion still grew. But it wasn't just hunger, there was reverence too. Each time he touched her, it wasn't for show. It was love in his hands, and she wanted him so. Yet beyond the desire, the fire, the flame, she realized their bond went beyond lust or name. For even in silence, while reading side by side, she felt more connected than ever inside. Days turned to weeks and the weeks into months, and still he was steady, not vanishing once. No ghosting, no silence, no coldness, no games. Just presence and truth, without masks or false names. She began to believe what she'd long thought a myth, that a man could be whole, both in passion and pith. That true love was not chaos, not drama, not fight, but respect, deep attraction and peace every night. One evening he told her, while holding her hand, I've dated, I've searched, I've tried to withstand. But with you it feels simple. It feels meant to be. No pretending, no puzzles, just you and just me. Her heart overflowed. Her voice almost broke. She leaned in and kissed him, no further words spoke. For she knew in that moment, the waiting, the pain, had led her to love that was solid, not vain. Chapter 9. The Promise. It was not a ring, nor a grand public scene. No orchestra swelling, no spotlighted dream. The promise he gave her was quieter, deep. A vow in his actions, a truth he would keep. They were walking through Central, leaves crisp in the fall. The city alive with its echoing call. Her scarf fluttered gently, his hand found her own. And something unspoken began to be shown. He stopped near the fountain, his gaze steady, clear. Not rushed, not rehearsed, but sincere, without fear. You know, he began, I've spent much of my years searching for someone who silences fears. I've had fleeting sparks and encounters that fade. I've built up defenses, the walls I have made. But you are different. You've broken them down. You've given me laughter, you've steadied my ground. I don't need to wonder. I don't need to roam. With you, I've discovered that love feels like home. So if you will have me, through storms and through shine, I want to be yours, and I'll make you be mine. Her breath caught inside her. Her heart skipped a beat. Tears brimmed unbidden, her knees felt weak. For this was no fantasy, no play, no disguise. It was truth in his voice, love bare in his eyes. She whispered, half breaking, this is all that I dreamed. That love could be real, not just longed for, but seen. And yes, I will have you, through thick and through thin. Because in your arms I know where I begin. No ring was exchanged, but a vow had been sown. A promise of partnership, wholly their own. And though it was simple, it carried great weight. Two souls intertwined, two lives bound by fate. That night, in the quiet, when passion had passed, he whispered again, This is love made to last. And she, half asleep with her head on his chest, knew fully, at last, she had found her true rest. Chapter X, The Forever. The years stretched ahead like a skyline at dawn, not empty, but glowing with promise drawn. The search had been endless, the trials had been long, but now she stood steady, where her heart belonged. No longer the woman who sifted through faces, who wandered through heartbreaks, through fleeting embraces. She was the woman who'd fought for her dream, and found that the world was far kinder than it seemed. They built little moments, their rituals grew, inside jokes and glances that only they knew. Sunday mornings with coffee, slow afternoons, their laughter a melody, sweeter than tunes. At night on the balcony, city lights near, she leaned on his shoulder, the world disappearing. The skyline of New York, aglow with desire, yet nothing compared to the flame he inspired. She thought of the girl who once prayed to the skies, who wanted a man with truth in his eyes, who longed for connection, for passion, for care, for love that was honest, for someone there. And here he was, breathing, his hand in her own, no longer a dream, but the life she had grown. Her Mr. Big, not just sparks in the night, but a partner, a promise, her anchor, her light. She whispered in silence, not needing to speak, for the answer was given, the future unique. The one she had chased, through doubt and through pain, had been worth every stumble, each tear, every strain. For love, the great love, is not found in haste. It is earned, it is waited, it's nurtured, it's chased. And once it is found, it is bright, it is true, it is forever, the me and the you.